And the lead is 11. Another turnover follows the other way. And that puts an exclamation mark on this Golden State win in Game 1. Wow.
The Road Warriors, the 7th seed out west, go to Houston and get a win to start the playoffs. Welcome to Playoff Central Live. That's the champion, Danny Green. That's the all-star, John Wall, and that other guy, Chris Miles. And when we look at this game, you know, John, something you pointed out early on, you said the Golden State Warriors, that experience, it's going to set in. They went on that 24-7 run in the second quarter, only allowed Houston to score 13 points, and that feels like really where the game was won.
They could have had better contests, but yes, he made some shots that Steph was going to. He does what Steph does. You know, you got to expect that and prepare for that. He's going to make shots. You can't hang your head. You got to go down the other end, find ways to make him work on defense, find ways to score. But, you know, Steph played well. But that's not what hurt them. Houston's offense is what hurt them. They didn't score. They didn't shoot well. They also turned the ball over, and they missed free throws. So like I said, there's a lot of positives. They can look at the stat sheets like, we can do better in this area. We can do better in that area. Jalen Green could have, you know, been more aggressive in terms of actually picking and choosing the right moments. Fred didn't shoot well. And you said you only lost by 10. You missed 8 free throws, and you had 16 turnovers. Those two areas alone could help you win the game.
Yeah, Houston, a season low in points, just 85 points. Ime Udoka, a finalist for Coach of the Year. He's at the podium now. Let's hear what he has to say.
What's the first question? Daniel.
Ime, Alpi obviously was having a dominant game inside, and you got some scoring from your bench there in the third quarter. But what did you think about the half-court offense creation in general?
Not our best, obviously. You only score 85. It's not a great offensive night, and the numbers show that. But I think, 6 for 29 from 3, 11 for 20 from free throw line, and 17 turnovers that gave up 25 points. So not our best offensive night by any means, like I said. Hold somebody at 95, you'd expect to win if you have a decent offensive night. And not only shots, but, like I said, turnovers playing in the crowd. The misses in the crowd are the same as turnovers, basically. So had our chances. Got it to a 4-point game with 2:34, I think, and gave up a 3 there. But, guarded well enough to win.
Did you expect to deploy Steven as much as you did tonight? And do you now expect to deploy him that much to the rest of the series?
Yeah, I mean, you want to use him. You got these days in between. He played, only played 20, and, we planned on using him in the 20 to 25 range. So, yes, we did.
Piggybacking off of that, how important was Steven tonight, just with that concept of really doing the dirty work?
Yeah, he's big. I think, we dominated the glass. We dominated some areas, but had a poor offensive showing in general, like I said. So he did what he does. Got the extra possession. We had some wide open, naked threes that we missed off those kickouts and opportunities on layups on the second chance points. And so, yeah, we shot 39%. And obviously he was up a bright spot there, doing what he usually does.
Hey, man, why do you think Jalen Green struggled so, and what might you need from him kind of moving forward with the rest of the series offensively?
I mean, they went after him some, but, played in the crowd a little bit too much, and it's not like I said, it's not really the turnovers as much as, he only had one, but those shots in the crowd where you got to find your outlets. And so this is a team that's loading up. When he has his isolations on, whether it's up top or getting to the lane, they're packing the paint, and you got to find your outlets. That's going to be a big key throughout the series.
Coach, there was a big gap in the rebounding department, but in terms of overall pace, how can you try and find the gaps and advantages in the open floor?
You said overall pace?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get some stops and get out and run. I think, they hit some timely shots, the shot clock shots late in the side out of bounds there, and they just felt like they hit 2 or 3 of those where we regarded well enough. And, our mantra all year has been turn defense to offense, and, when we do get those opportunities, we got to cash in on them. It felt like we missed quite a few layups out in the open court, or we're a little sloppy there. Had some turnovers as well when we had the numbers advantage.
With Jabari being one of the only few people that had any type of offensive flow tonight and his ability to shoot over, anybody on the court, is there any thought of him possibly moving into the starting lineup next game, or is it too early to kind of tell on that?
I mean, it was – some guys did struggle offensively. You're not going to overreact to one game, but if guys do play better, we have a chance there. A 10-point loss, and like I said, holding somebody at 95, it was an offensively poor showing. The defense was good enough, but not going to overreact to that game. Like I said, it's some of the guys' first time, and we had our chances.
Coach, when Steph is hitting those type of shots that he was hitting tonight, how much does that change your defensive approach?
I mean, we guarded some things well. I think he hit some end of shot clock shots that we guarded decent, but we did have some slippage in our connectivity to him. And so giving them that space, especially late in the shot clock, he dips you under the 3-point line, gets us off. We got to know shot clock game time score situation and lock in and make him a driver there. So, yeah, he hit some tough ones. He does that at times, but, he got loose and felt like he hit some big shots to stem the tide for them.
When y'all were able to cut into the lead in the third quarter and early in the fourth, what did you feel like was the source of that? And is that something that you feel like y'all could tap into maybe throughout the entirety of the game?
Yeah, we got stops and ran and got offensive rebound, second chance opportunities. And so, not turning the ball over, getting quality shots is always a good formula. And when we didn't do it, they got out and ran, especially in the first half, and got better in the second and got more quality looks. But even with that being said, we didn't shoot it particularly well. Obviously, you look at Fred, Jalen, Amen, didn't have their usual night shooting and still had our chance. So, said to the group, guarded well enough, got to have better offensive showing, get our spacing down and take care of the ball.
Ime, did you feel like the moment got to any of your guys?
No, I wouldn't say the moment. I would say their physicality at times, going after guys and just playoff basketball. It's not really about the moment. I think going into the lane, kind of trying to shoot over too many guys and not finding your outlets is a big thing and a big key for us all year. When we do it right, we get wide open looks. When we don't, we struggle a little bit. And so I wouldn't say it was anything to do with the moment, but the physicality does go up, and you have to understand that when you drive to the paint.
On offense, were you getting the matchups that you wanted for the most part, or was it a matter of not getting some of them?
No, we got some decent ones. Didn't break them down as much as we wanted to. Like I said, if you draw and they pack the paint the way they do and kind of are going to make certain guys prove it, you just have to trust your teammates to get off the ball. And I think we had too many of those turnovers playing in the crowd. So they're going to load up and, help the poorer defenders. And we got to take advantage of that with the easy play.
Can you talk about Alpi tonight and what he gave you? How he kind of kept you guys in it the whole game?
Yeah, he was a bright spot offensively for sure from the get-go. Got into the paint, made plays. Other than a few turnovers in the crowd, was really solid there. And so he had a great night. Need some others to kind of join the party there, and I think guys will.
It seemed like hunting Steph was a little bit of the game plan at times, depending on certain guys being on the floor. Is that something you look to go back to next game, or do you feel like it wasn't executed properly tonight?
No, it's worked well for us for sure. And like I said, we had the advantage there. You just have to make the right read because they're going to load up. They're going to show, elbows in boxes and show a crowd behind them. And if they're daring guys to shoot, you just have to make the right play. And whether you get by him and they collapse the paint or the simple advanced pass, which is there quite a bit, and the guy's sitting at the nail, you have to make the right read.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Is it really that simple when we look back on the game in the biggest plays?
No, it's not really that simple. One thing I can say is simple is they didn't play well offensively. They missed shots. They missed free throws. That's what you can fix, you know what I mean? But the turnovers, with a team like that, the Golden State Warriors, they're a veteran team. They're very physical. They have two great guys in Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler with a great IQ that can read plays, know what's going on. Those guys, other guys like Moses Moody, Kevon Looney, whoever comes in, they play their role. They know their position. They do the little things. But offensively was a key where they just wasn't in a sync, where they couldn't find a flow. So those turnovers was something that was forced. And I think them, first time being in the playoffs with some of those guys, they didn't know how physical it was going to be. And some of the calls they may get in the regular season, you do not get in the playoffs. And I think that's an adjustment they have to make.
Give Golden State a lot of credit. You see these clips, man. They're active. They're in lanes. They're getting deflections. They're there for each other. But a lot of these plays is Houston just showing immaturity, right? Falling asleep on defense, jumping in the air, making jump passes and turning it over. And a lot of it for them said it's that simple, making free throws and then making easy layups. They miss a lot of bunnies we saw throughout the whole game. Those are a couple of things that they could easily fix. Now, yes, Golden State's intensity, they can't change that. They can change their intensity, but they also can change their decision-making and being smarter with making those plays and showing some maturity, getting to the paint, taking your time, jump stopping on 2 feet and either finishing a layup or finding an open guy and not jumping in the air and making jump pass turnovers.
4 wins separated the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors. So obviously this is going to be a good series with the 7th seed now up 1-0. Here's Steve Kerr.
You guys were as physical as you need to be. Did you prepare them for just time to be as physical as possible? And what did you think about just the physical nature of this game?
Did I prepare them for?
Did you say this is going to be physical? So
no, I didn't mention it at all. I totally forgot to tell the team that Houston is really physical and great on the glass. But thanks for the reminder, and I'm gonna mention it before game 2.
You should. How do you rate your guys' ability to be physical and to try to pry and lose that game?
Well, I mean, that's obviously their advantage in the series is the size and athleticism and the offensive rebounding. They had 22 of them. We can be better for sure. But they're going to get offensive rebounds in this series. They just are. So, we have to keep playing. The possession doesn't end until we get the ball. So we got to keep fighting. I thought there were several loose balls that, we didn't grab with 2 hands with force. So we'll look at those similar to the Clipper game last week where, the ball's bouncing around. We're trying to bounce it one time or maybe we get a rebound and we're so anxious to get in transition. We throw the ball, away. We can't have those. If it's a half court game, I really think our defense can get the job done in this series. But so we can't be, turning it over. We can't give up, a million offensive boards, but they're going to get some for sure.
I was going to kind of ask you about that. I'd say the times you were most upset tonight seemed to be on the –
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Times you were most upset tonight seemed to be on a few of those kind of sillier turnovers. I mean, is that kind of what you are hammering in this series?
Yeah.
That is, if it's a clean game, you guys have the advantage.
Yeah, it's they're the best team in the league in the possession game. They got 11 more shots than we did tonight as a result of all those offensive boards. Now we're going to turn them over too, and our defense is excellent. I mean, we just held a hell of a team to 85 points on their home floor. So our defense is big time, and we're going to count on that. But we've got to recognize that we don't need to take chances in this series. We need to be clean with our execution in transition. We don't need to dribble through traffic. We don't need to throw lob passes, to try to get a dunk. We've got to be rock solid. And if we're smart and tough, then I think we're going to be in good shape.
What do you think about the way that Steph handled Houston's defense, missed his first 3 shots?
That was incredible.
What got him going, you think?
He was incredible. And, with that type of pressure on him from Thompson and others, he just made some amazing plays and obviously carried us offensively along with Jimmy.
Brandon, Jimmy, and Draymond grabbed offensive rebounds in the last 3 minutes. What changed, or was there something they did differently in those last 3 minutes, or was it just effort?
No, just effort. BP had one where he snuck in and put it back on the glass, and then Draymond ended up with it and laying it in. That was a huge play. We've been a really good offensive rebounding team all year. So we'll get more. We only had 6. I think that's low for us. I think we'll get more next game. Scott?
Sorry. 85 points to the number 2 seed you guys gave up. If you had to explain that to a complete idiot, how would you break that down, essentially, that what you guys did?
Are you talking about yourself? Or?
Yes, I am.
Well, it's they're not a typical modern NBA team, and I think in terms of spreading you out, playing fast, shooting a million threes, they're kind of old school. In many ways, they're in the image of their coach. Ime was a grinder as a player. He was, tough and physical, and that's what Houston is. And in this series, you can see they know where their advantage lies, and it's playing Adams a lot, sometimes playing him with Sengun, having everybody crash. So it felt like 1997 out there to me. Completely different NBA game than what we're used to, and we've got to be ready for that. This is what this series is going to be.
Steve, excuse me. I know you felt like you've been playing playoff games for a while, but technically this was Jimmy's first playoff game with the Warriors. Beyond his points, how much did his presence matter? I mean, 23-point lead gets down to 3 or 4, right. But it seemed like he, as you've described for the last 2 months, calmed everybody down.
he has that impact every game. He calms things down. He's very confident. He's very poised. He always believes we're going to win. Jimmy is he's one of the best players in the league, and that's what the best players in the league do. It's not just about scoring or stats. It's about settling the game down, having the presence and the nature to compete and win games like this.
They seem to be trying to attack Steph a little bit with Jalen Green, some one-on-one matchups. Do you think Steph noticed that, and does Steph enjoy it all when he's tested defensively in that way?
One-on-one, Steph, one-on-one.
Steph a little bit with Jalen Green, it seemed like. How do you think he handles that?
Steph's been dealing with this for his entire career. People try to pick on him. He's a really good defender. But one of the reasons everyone tries to pick on him is to try to wear him down because he's so good, obviously, offensively. But he's not a weak defender at all. So we don't mind when people go at him. He stays in front. He does a great job, and I thought his defense was excellent tonight.
Steve, I know you touched on the defense, but do you feel with all the talk entering this series about Houston's defense and what they were going to do to you guys that your defense felt like it had something to prove?
I mean, since we got Jimmy, we're I don't know where we ranked, but top 5 for sure, maybe even higher. We feel very confident about our defense. We got a lot of smart players. Draymond anchors it, so we feel really good about our ability to get stops against anybody.
Hi, Coach. Congrats for your victory number 100 in the playoffs. Just if in the very beginning you could imagine to reach those numbers, and also I know that you've been focusing this game, but today was the last game of the first 2 days of the playoffs. Just if you could watch something, if you found something that surprised to you in the other games?
Everybody's good these days. The league is so deep. There's great teams across the board. I think a lot of it has to do with style of play, the skill of the players. Every team has, 10 guys who can make threes. Coaching is great. I just feel like the league is deeper than it's maybe ever been for me. You watch any one of these games today, yesterday, pretty impressive what you're watching. But we're just happy to be here and have an opportunity to play meaningful basketball, as Steph talks about, and nothing better than the playoffs. One game, we got lots of good stuff ahead, hopefully, but we know that this is going to be a very tough series.
About your record?
I'm sorry?
Your record?
That's I'm lucky to coach the guys that I do. Players win games. It's our job to try to help them along a little bit here and there. And I've coached Steph Curry and Draymond Green for 11 years. So, of course, we've got a lot of playoff wins. Thank you.
We've heard from both coaches. Now the players are coming to the podium next. Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler should be on the way. Draymond Green, 3 of the Warriors' 14 steals. He's also a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year.
Was there any moment or example in the game where they were kind of whittling back the lead and having Jimmy out there sort of stabilize the ship? You've never played a playoff game with him. I know it felt like it, but this was the first one.
Nah, I think, there were several moments, where they cut the lead to 3 one time. They cut it to 7 and, with a chance to, push it over, push it further down. But, did a great job in getting Jimmy the ball. It always just settles the offense down. Even that last one he hit over Sengun. That's what we want. And I think we gotta do an even better job of making sure we're getting him the ball. But overall, man, he's such a huge calming force for us. Just calm everything down, get us to our spots, and get us a good look.
Draymond, you guys have won some tough games, obviously in the past, but you're known for the threes and stuff and everything. How satisfying is it to win a game that's basically on toughness? It's basically on just keeping them as much as you can off the glass as you did tonight.
It's very satisfying to win any road game, any playoff game in general, but definitely a road playoff win. I think we can play a lot better. That's the encouraging part about it. I don't think we play very well at all, but still got to find a way to win, and we did that with our defense. Held them to 85 points. So playoffs, it don't matter how it looks. You just got to find a way and then get better and come back, with an improved team the next game.
Steve said it felt like 1997 out there with their style of play and how different it is from kind of the modernized, space and pace type game. How is it facing them? And I mean, how do you feel coming out of a game like that where you gave up 22 offensive rebounds, but they scored 85 points?
I said in the post-game interview, at times their best offense is the offensive rebound. They are elite at that. And so, it's something that we expected. I thought we did a decent job in the first half, held them to 7, but then second half it was way out of control. So we got to do a better job there, but, that is their style of play. They rough you up, they grab, they hold, they crash the boards. Very extremely physical team. You got to give them credit. They do a great job of it, so we just got to make sure we're prepared for that coming into every game, but that's who they are, and it is what it is. Every team's got an MO. That's theirs. You got to do what you got to do to try to beat it.
If you had to explain what you guys did tonight to hold them to 85, 50 words or less or whatever, what would you say? And also, what did Stackhouse say to you that one time on the sidelines when?
I think, I think overall we just flew around. We didn't give up any easy looks. We followed our defensive game plan. Just make them take tough shots and, be a lot better off if we can get some rebounds. You hold them to 39% shooting. 34 of those baskets. I mean, they had 34 baskets. 10 of them was on second chance points, on second opportunities, So, we got to do a better job there. But overall, I think we just did a good job of following the game plan, flying around, not giving up easy buckets, and then just reacting to their actions. Stackhouse, he just told me, keep doing what I'm doing. He said, you're doing a great job. We're not worried about what's going on out there, so don't get so caught up in, your emotions during that time. Stay locked in, and so he was great for me.
Draymond, there was a lot of talk entering the series about how good defensively they were and what they were going to do to Steph and all the defenders. As a defensive guy, did you guys feel like you guys wanted to show you guys can play some defense too? Was that on your minds at all?
No, we're not trying to necessarily show that, oh, man, y'all talking about their defense, but what about ours? We just want to win the game. And we understand that in order to win, you got to defend at a high level. They're the number 2 seed because they defend at a very high level. You got to give them their credit. A-Man is an incredible defender. Dylan's an incredible defender. Tari Eason's an incredible defender. So, you have to give those guys their credit. Fred's a log. It's very hard to move him. He's kind of very low to the ground, strong as hell. So they play to that advantage. But overall, Steph Curry, he usually finds a way.
When it comes to all the talk about how they guard Steph, do you think that he blocks the noise out or he feeds off of it?
He's a true pro. I'm sure you hear it, today's day and age, it's impossible to not hear anything. You open your phone up, even if you're not looking at something, somebody's going to send you a DM or somebody's going to send you a message of something off Instagram. That's just the nature of the world we live in. So I think it's impossible for anybody to not hear anything. But like I said, at the end of the day, we're not coming out here trying to prove a point. We've been at this for a very long time to try to prove a point because someone said X is pointless. We're trying to win basketball games, and in order for us to win basketball games, it requires Steph Curry to be great, and he was just that.
All week we heard you guys talk about the keys, which were, limiting turnovers to keep them in the half court and doing what you can to prevent them from getting offensive rebounds. The way this game played out, how close was that to what you expected?
Extremely close to what we expected. You know, they get in passing lanes, they pressure the ball, try to speed you up, and they crash the glass. I thought they're going to get some offensive rebounds. This is not a team we're probably going to hold to 7 offensive rebounds for a game. It's hard to do. But in saying that, I thought there were some ones that we can get. And the ones that we can for sure get our hand on, we got to come up with those balls. So, you know, I think, Jesus Christ, it's crazy. Oh, my God. Wow. You know, but we'll watch the film, you know, see where we can be better at it. But overall, it's the fight in us. And we fought to win the game, but we can clean up some of that stuff, and I think we will. No, that reaction was to my words.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. Seemed like they were trying to attack Steph a little bit, pick and roll situations offensively. How do you feel like Steph holds up defensively, and do you think he likes that kind of challenge?
I've been here for 13 years. They've been at that for 13 years. I think I'll be around another 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something, whatever it is. I think it'll go on then too. So it is what it is. Steph's a competitor. He know they're going to do that. Take the match up, do the best you can, and everybody else fill in as you may.
Draymond, as you said earlier, it's clear how much Jimmy calms this team on offense. What has he meant? Why has he made such an impact defensively? You guys are number 1 rated defense in the league since he joined.
Well, he just allows us to match up differently at times. You know, he allows us to take advantage of different things that offenses could be doing because he's so versatile. You know, you can throw him on bigs at times. You can throw him on point guards. You can kind of move him all over the floor. And so, you know, when you think about an offensive team that can move spots around and get different people in different situations, usually a great offensive team. You add that to the defensive side of the ball where you can move guys around and switch positions, and that, you know, it lifts our defense. So he's been great on that side of the ball as well. He's just been great overall. That's why he's Jimmy Butler, though.
Thank you, Jimmy and Steph. I look back at game 1 between the Rockets and the Warriors. Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry carrying the load for Golden State, and the same can be said for Alperen Sengun. We start cooking with Sengun.
Watch your head. On that rim.
Now, Jalen Green struggled from the field, but get this one to go. Green, just 3 for 15.
Yeah. You have his dance.
Steph Curry. You know, we know what he can do from three-point range, but he had it going from inside the arc, too.
Yeah, he was great from the mid-range and the floaters. He switched it up. It was hard to defend him. He's always hard to defend.
Part of an 18-3 Warriors run. Steph cutting backdoor for that easy score. Jimmy Butler, also 25 points, John.
Yeah, he's been aggressive. He's another guy that can make big shots for him. Does the little things, cutting backdoor, getting off his rebounds. He's just being himself, being aggressive over there.
Warriors, 13-point lead at the half. Houston scored just 34 points in the first half. Butler with the fadeaway. Then watch this. After Jimmy Butler hits the shot,
start hitting threes.
He pulls this off on Reggie Miller. You like that, though.
Play off Jimmy. This is crazy.
Fader.
Wait.
Slick act.
Look at the score at this point. Golden State up by 23. But Alperen Sengun and company go on a 25-6 run.
Excuse me, little guy.
Well, how about another ridiculous Steph Curry shot?
Another fade.
It's not even ridiculous anymore the way he makes it. He makes it look like it's routine, so you just got to
Jimmy
live
Butler's
with it.
like, who am I playing with now? Jabari Smith Jr. with a big shot for the Houston Rockets, making it a 5-point game. Then Amen Thompson
in the post
makes it a 3-point game, but hold on, I said 3, right?
There it goes.
5 threes for Steph Curry.
There it goes.
Draymond Green gets his first bucket of the game.
This was a big
clutch
play.
Situation.
Podziemski keeping it alive. Draymond finishing. That was a big play. Stopped the whole Rockets momentum.
Fred VanVleet was 1 for 10 from long range before knocking that one down, keeping it close. But Jimmy Butler doing the most.
Doing the little thing, getting offensive rebounds, making those stops, come over the big steal there.
Blue collar guy. Breakout dunk.
Butler also had 5 steals to go along with his 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 helpers. Big part of the Warriors winning by 10. The Rockets, 85 points again, a season low. Here is Jimmy Butler.
Houston brought it all, the youth, the physicality, the rebounding, this home court energy. How'd you guys overcome it, and what was the biggest test here?
We're still young. I mean, I think Steph is 37, I'm 35, Dre is like 35. But we got some young guns that also get it done as well. Stayed in it, gave up a little run, but in the end we won.
18 of your last 24 games to end the regular season were on the road. Then you had to go through the play-on. But you had 2 days off and then 2 days of film. What was the biggest reset that played a role here?
Just rest, honestly. Getting some rest, clear minds, knowing that we got one job to do. Come in here, compete, and try to steal one on the road.
There was one 3-point shot that Stephen made. He was like floating off in motion, and we panned over to a shot of you, and you're just shaking your head. I mean, the man continues to amaze, doesn't he?
He does. Like I always say, Batman comes out of nowhere. You never see him coming, then he just falls from the sky, from a building, behind the door, and does some incredible things, man. He's going to be the reason that we do win it all. We all know that, but we got to protect him at all costs.
Butler and the chef. The Butler delivers after the chef cooks it up. You like that?
Yeah, I think just understanding what the physicality is about. I think sometimes showing off his athleticism, trying to get into the paint, really looking for the foul and not trying to go finish. And those are some of the calls he probably got early in the regular season. But, guys are being more physical now. And I think he just got to go back, watch some film, see where to pick his spots at and do those things. But you could tell at times it felt like it was forced because shots wasn't going. And for your first playoff game, you want to play good. You want to play great, especially being at home. And I think he just has to go back, watch film, and figure it out.
Yeah, Alperen Sengun did his job. 26 points, 9 rebounds, really carried the offense for a team that struggled. There it is, cooking with Sengun on Draymond Green. You're watching Playoff Central Live. Alperen Sengun, the leading scorer for the Rockets with 26. Jabari Smith Jr., the second leading scorer with 11.
Alperen, how were you able to go out there and really set the tone tonight?
I mean, I just wanted to win, and I was just trying my best, and I was just in the attack mode.
Any other questions?
Yeah. Go ahead. Just what was different about the way that they defended you guys? Obviously, y'all didn't have y'all best shooting night. Was there anything that they were doing that kind of threw y'all off, or was it just a matter of you guys not knocking down your open shots?
That could be for you. I mean, it was just tough game. It was physical game, and it's happened. We miss sometimes. We make another day, so we're not thinking about the shots we miss. I think that was all good-looking shots. I mean, we still have time to make those.
Jabbar, how much did you make it a point to bring that energy that you brought tonight off the bench?
I always try to. We had a really good start to the game. I feel like I came in and had some careless turnovers. But I always try to just come in and just bring some energy crashing. And I was just trying to build off what the starters started with, really.
Also for Jabari and Alpy, how encouraging is it to, you're down 20, you're able to come back, still have a chance to win? Of course, there's no such thing as moral victories, but is it still encouraging that you were able to come back, kind of heading into game 2, you kind of lean on that?
Definitely. I feel like it's encouraging just to finish the game knowing that we had opportunities to win down 4 with about 2 minutes left. But, we just got to clean up some things on the offensive end, and it's definitely encouraging knowing that we were still in the game despite being down that much, and we stayed together, and it shows some growth tonight.
Kind of emotionally for both of y'all, playing your first playoff game ever, just kind of where are you guys at? Where's the mentality at after this game right now?
I mean, I think we were ready. We've been getting ready for this game, and obviously that was our first playoff game. I would say we were nervous a little bit, but when you start the game, we all forgotten that and just go there and compete.
Alpy, were you surprised by some of the sets that they ran at you as far as on the defensive end when you ended up being one-on-one with a lot of those players?
I mean, that's been like that all year. They try and harm me on defense, but I will do just best I can, and my teammate over there to help me. That's been like that all year.
I'm talking on the offensive end when they were playing you one-on-one on the offensive end.
Yeah, I'm in defense, right?
No, you're on offense.
Oh, okay. So ask again. I'm sorry. Ask again. Yeah.
When you were on the offensive end, how surprised were you that they were leaving you one-on-one and maybe sending more double teams towards Jalen and Fred?
Yeah, I mean, they were just coming up to my spin move. Other than that, in the post, I didn't play that much post up today, but you know, they tried not double team me. I just went to work.
Jabari, and Alpi as well. Was the problem, the challenges you guys had on offense, was it more just not a great shooting night, or was there something different that they were doing defensively?
No, it's not. I don't think it's necessarily just a bad shooting night. That had something to do with it, but we gotta work harder to generate better looks. Our spacing was a little thrown off tonight. They were crowding the paint a lot on us, and we just gotta figure out ways to counteract that. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta watch film and figure out ways to go about that. They was packing the paint, trapping Jalen and Fred. You know, kind of funneling and everything, making us trying to make us make that extra pass, and we wasn't making it tonight. Everybody, me turning the ball over. So we just got to be better in that regard. We was missing shots, but we also got to generate better looks.
For both of you, the double big lineup, obviously, y'all both being a part of it. Just kind of tell us about the ways in which that matchup is favorable for y'all going against the Warriors.
I mean, obviously, just the size aspect of it. Being in there with Steven and Alpi, it just opens up so much as far as offensive rebounding and the attention they draw when they got the ball inside. So it's just a different look for us. And obviously on defense, we can play zone and give teams a different look. So it's been great for us. I love it. I'm sure it's something we'll keep going to.
For both of you guys, Alpi, I know you mentioned you guys were a little nervous coming into this one. How much did the home crowd help? And then what did you think of the environment, first playoff game in 5 years here?
I think the fans help a lot. Like I said, when we start the game, before got all those nervous, you know, going to the game. But, you know, it just in the game, it changed. Fans was great tonight. And, you know, we just got to forget all about that. We have more games to come.
Jabari, going back to what you mentioned earlier as far as generating better looks, you know, offensively, how do you guys do that and balance, you know, when you have an off night offensively, especially from the 3-point line, where you don't just continue shooting it and, you know, keep missing shots?
I can't give you an answer right now. I gotta watch the game, and I'm sure the coaches will figure out a great game plan to generate better looks, obviously. But I honestly can't tell you that right now. But my main thing would probably just say just making extra passing and our spacing together. We was a little crowded tonight and on top of each other. And honestly, taking care of the ball, you know, would, you know, help a lot of that. You know, turning the ball over a lot in that first half. Obviously gave them their run. So just taking care of the ball, and I'm sure the coaches will watch film and give us a great game plan to get better looks.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
All right, so the Houston Rockets gonna forget about that one and look forward to Wednesday on TNT for Game 2 against the Golden State Warriors. And really, if you're Houston, that second quarter you scored just 13 points. But you look at the third quarter where you went on a 25-6 run. And let's start with the positives for Houston, right? What did you notice on that run, something they can lean on to have more success against the Golden State Warriors?
Well, for one, I think taking care of the ball, getting out in transition, but also just taking care of the glass. They had so many offensive rebounds, and that was their big line to get an opportunity. But they also got down here. They got to the basket and then set up with so many jumpers and got to the free throw line. But they got back to playing the defense you've seen most of the year was being physical and letting their defense control and dictate what their offense could do.
Yeah, 2 words, Steven Adams. He came in, brought the energy, he rebounded, you know, he protected the rim a little bit, but he got out and running, set some good screens. But the offensive rebound started with him, defensive rebound started with him, giving him second chance points, limiting Golden State's opportunities. So the energy he brought, and Jabari Smith with that lineup hitting a shot or two, also helping with the rebounding, it gave them a chance to get back in the game. So once they found out they had like that energy, that rhythm, or that group that can give them second chance points, it allowed them to say they found something. It allowed them to get back in the game, and hopefully they use it more.
Well, Golden State Warriors have 2 answers to that question. Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler, they paid dividends in Game 1. This has been Playoff Central Live. Thank you for hanging out with us.